The bird migration is a marvelous phenomenon. Migratory birds fly thousands of kilometers to find the best ecological conditions and also habitats for feeding, breeding and also for raising their young ones. When conditions at breeding sites become unfavorable, then they fly to regions where conditions are better. And this is out of their natural instinct. But now climate change is impacting this as well. The birds that should be heading to southern Europe for warmer weather have now stopped migrating altogether. In the United Kingdom, warmer weather means that some birds, like the blackcaps, have stopped migrating and are now spending the winter in the United Kingdom because it's reasonably warm there. Now, other birds, like the chiffchaff, a leaf warbler that used to spend its winters in southern Europe, has now been spotted in the United Kingdom, alive and well, even in the months of January this year. Now, more and more birds are abandoning their migration and are staying put in their homes. The scientists in Sweden have been monitoring the impact of climate change on migratory patterns of birds.
So some claim this is Sweden's most common bird. So everything's green and lush, and then as it dries out, it tracks.
So if the climate's warming, in the wintertime the growing season's getting longer, the plants are shifting earlier. And we see the same thing with the migratory birds. They're arriving earlier in the spring than they would, say 3 decades ago.
And also the changing migration patterns are signs of a world that is changing around us in real time because of global warming. Changing migration patterns are also changing birds because breeding patterns are being affected. The birds that stay in the United Kingdom for winter come from Germany, but the ones that breed in Britain still head to Spain for the winter. So the two populations never meet up anymore, and this is changing the whole species. Blackcaps in Britain are now evolving into slightly shorter wings, narrower bills and also a browner back. As some birds species move north, other birds that need mountain tops and a cool climate are now being pushed closer to an endangered status. Migratory birds benefit ecosystems by pollinating plants, helping control pests and also serving as food for other wildlife. Now, the more scientists and other stakeholders know about the effects of climate change on bird migration, the better they can prepare to protect these birds and also the habitats on which they rely. All right, now to give us more information in terms of how climate change has affected birds and also their migration habits, we're being joined by REDDA, who's joining us live from Addis Ababa. He's the Ethiopia country head for Climate and Development Knowledge Network. Now, Mr. REDDA, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us here on WION. Now, climate change is altering bird migration. Do you think that this will actually have a major impact in terms of the habitats into which these birds used to migrate into?
It will impact the whole ecosystem because birds do have a central role in the ecosystem, that they do have a significant role as disseminating seeds, for instance, for plant growth or other functions within the ecosystem, so that they're an integral part of the ecosystem and a good indicators of a healthy ecosystem. So their disappearance will also have impact on other bits because the ecosystem is a balance in general.
Right. Now, that's true. Everything within the ecosystem is interconnected. Now, the fact is, because of climate change, birds are also changing their migration routes. Is this a pattern that's also witnessed in other animals as well?
It can be seen in other animals as well. Birds are very sensitive to temperature, to temperature in general. So, the minute a certain area is of a different temperature, that they tend to migrate, and they have that sensitivity. But for other animals as well, you can see that the warmer a climate is, the more you'll not be able to get, the more food and other sources also reduce. So a wetland will dry up, and if it dries up, then it means there would be insufficient, microbes and other things to feed on. So there will be migration of that sort as well.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Redda, for joining us from Ethiopia and getting us all those insights there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.